really we are happy to have you here today.
Thank you, sir.
With a great experience. So with that, can we move on to the session, sir?
Sure, sir. Sure.
Okay, I would like to begin with the first question, sir.
Yeah.
One of the major findings in HR audits is that employees often remain unaware of key policies, even after HR communicates them, whether it is leave rules, probation details, or appraisal processes. In your experience, why do policy communications fail so often despite multiple channels being used?
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Actually, these topics are all very close to my heart. One of the reasons the policy is not understood by people. One is still we live in the British legacy, British period, British mindset we still have. Because they use so many legal jargons, the person who may be a worker or a lower level supervisor in the hierarchy, they are not able to interpret it. The policies are communication from the management to the employees. The policies must be contextualized. In what context? And reinforced and made memorable. A worker knows his shift time, tea break, his route number. How he is able to remember those? Because they are repeated. I normally do in soft skill training. Your repeated actions become your habit. Your habit becomes your style. Your style becomes your personality. Very simple. So we have to make these policies memorable. Number two, interpretation by supervisors. If a supervisor interprets it in his own way, there will be a gap in the employee understanding it. So there is inconsistency. And these days, when the policies were created long back 20, 30 years ago, it is only running matters. Nowadays, you got a lot of artificial intelligence available, Canva available. Make it more visualized. Visualization is most important. Visual anchors. That is another factor. Policy should not be text heavy without infographics and flowcharts or policy wheels. It becomes challenging for people to understand that. And also, many people hesitate to approach the boss, what he will think. So they may hesitate to ask questions. That is another reason. And we also call it context disconnect. Employees don't see how policies apply to their specific role or situation. In organization, one policy may be common, but then it is applicable to different levels of people. Therefore, we should try to narrow down the policies to be role specific, the cadre specific, and easily understandable by anybody. Otherwise, most of the policies I've seen that one has to take it to the lawyer to understand that. So policies may be written in legalistic or HR jargon. Employees struggle to connect them to daily work. So lack of translation. I also say that nowadays, what will happen in every industry, you've got people from all over India. Maybe the people down south may be able to understand English to some extent. Maybe from north, if there are some migrants from what you call Bihar, UP, or someplace, they may not be told understand anything at all. So try to make it in local vernacular or easy to what you call translate. Everything is possible with AI, so that a person can understand it. And certain policies, like for a small example, Form 16 accounts people circulate when maybe in January or February. We don't do it a bit early. You give 1 week time for people to submit Form 16, that guy might have gone on leave or tour or something. So policies are often shared in bulk, like in an email, long documents through meetings and all that. Employees skip or forget details. There is another reason. So it can be information overload, it can be one-time communication, it can be the language or accessibility gap, and also cultural, psychological barrier. So weak, what you call visual anchor, and also the supervisors have to spend time in explaining to their own people. There are some people working there, some North Indian, South Indian available. The worker should communicate to them how it is going to affect them in a positive or negative way. Give some examples, explain to them. It is, I always say that the line managers is the real owner of the people working under him, not the HR. HR is there to create policies. And you can ask them to make the policies very what you call easily readable with the visual what you call images. They can do it, but then the interpretation, it has to be done by the immediate superiors or the line managers.
Right.
That's my take. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. It's a wonderful insight, sir. Now to the audience. Dear audience, if you have seen this kind of policy confusion in your workplace, please type policy in the chat. I repeat, if you have seen this kind of policy confusion in your workplace, please type policy in the chat.
In fact, I prepare a lot of policies for several companies. In fact, one company, one IT company in Chennai has approached me. Still, it is in the back, what do you call, in the drawing board, because they are it's a startup company. They are tightening their IT framework and other things. Maybe in the next one month or so, they will call me up. So even yesterday I chatted with them. They said they'll come back. It is in our to-do list only. We will start. So that's what our approach will be, to make it as much as possible more visual for people to easily understand, simple bullet points, no long unwinding sentences that we should avoid.
Wonderful, sir. Wonderful. So thank you everyone for sharing in chat box. Can we move on to the next question, sir?
Yeah, please.
Many employees take up roles without fully understanding the job description. From your audit experience, how does poor JD clarity impact productivity, performance, and long-term growth of employees?
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you. Again, this is my what you call very close to me, JD, because I do a lot of performance management system audit and also implementation also. Normally, JD is the base for any employee to work in an organization. And his performance when he's what do you call OKRs or the objectives, key result areas, everything is drawn from the JD basically. So the JD document is like a constitution for a particular job role. It describes everything, the reporting, the goals, the role, the responsibilities, everything. And in many companies, once the JD is prepared, when they launch a company or start the company, and then they totally forget it. And the new roles are added, and then new departments are formulated. The same JD is picked up and transported there. All those mistakes happen. I tell you again. During or just after COVID, I was requested by a pharma company which has a factory in Tumkur and the office here in Bangalore. They asked me to do the auditing of their PMS, revisiting kind of thing. So when I met the partner, the vice president, and also the owner, part owner, I asked the lady, ma'am, how recent or how old are your JDs? Sir, these were formed when the factory was, when the business was started 15 years ago. In other words, the JDs were as old as 15 years. I told them, ma'am, with that, you cannot really do a PMS. We need to revisit them. When I told them this is the effect of a poor JD or old JD, sir, why don't you do that? So I ended up preparing a revisiting JDs for 40 plus managers in the office, head office, and also in the factory. Because you cannot use the same JD everywhere. You cannot have a template. Each JD is unique and different. For instance, there is a sales manager in the East, in Calcutta, rather headquartered at Calcutta. He may have a geographical control over You can say Jharkhand, you got your UP and also Uttarakhand and all those Bihar and all those things. The client base will be different. The customer base will be different. Products may also be a little bit different. You cannot use the same JD with a sales manager located in what you call South. Again, the product manager, the products may be different, the customer may be different, the skill may be different. It's difficult to handle what you call a client or a customer in interior of West Bengal. The guy may not know even what you call Hindi. They know only Bengali. So these kind of using common JDs for several roles will cause a lot of confusion. In fact, I can say most common root cause of organizational friction. How poor JD clarity creates problem, I will tell. Number one, confusion in roles and responsibilities. Employees don't know the boundaries of their role, leading to overlapping. Either one role will be one particular responsibility will be handled by two people or too many people, or some policy may be totally ignored because there is no ownership. Teams waste time negotiating who does what due to lack of clarity. We call it a role clarification and goal clarification. Performance gap. Consequently, without clear deliverable or KPI or key performance indicators in the JD, employees may prioritize the wrong task. Supervisors struggle to evaluate performance because expectations won't be documented. Training and development, again, the same problem. Requirements are not clearly defined because what the JD calls for, what kind of soft skill required, what kind of technical skill required, may be missing in the JD. And also misaligned expectations. Yes, even if there is a weakness or something, the escalation problem, if the JDs are ambiguous, it will be very difficult. Employees don't know whom to escalate. The problems linger because accountability is not clearly assigned in JDs. And again, there's a cultural impact. That is the blame culture because ambiguity. When mistakes are what you call passed around instead of owned by somebody. I don't know, ask the department, this is not things happen. Employees lose trust in HR and leadership when they feel their roles are what you call undefined or unfairly judged. Just to sum up, poor JD poor JD clarity is not just an HR documentation issue. It is a strategic risk. It undermines accountability, weakens performance management, and erodes trust the employees have in the management. Therefore, a clear, well-communicated JD acts as the bridge between organizational intent and employee execution. People are in the HR or in the management should never feel lazy to revisit JDs, even like other what you call ISO norms. You can have a JD numbered, dated, and also updation. Everything can be in soft or hard copy and revisit every 2-3 years, or whenever new products are brought, whenever a merger happens, or whenever there's an acquisition happens. This JD is the sacred document for the entire organization. I know in many companies, they don't have anything called JD. That's another flip side of it. That's from my end, sir.
It's good, sir. Thank you for your clear explanation, sir. Now, to
Welcome,
the
sir.
audience, if you have experienced or observed JD-related confusion in your workplace, please type JD in the chat. Please type JD in the chat. Thank you for your responses. Sir, let's move on to the next question.
Yeah.
Role overlaps and unclear responsibilities between departments are extremely common. From your audit perspective, how serious a communication risk is role ambiguity in cross-functional teams, and how can HR address it early?
Yeah, this has something to do with the earlier question and answer about the JD. That is one aspect. Another aspect is, suppose there's a what do you call a manager in charge of a plant, and then so many people are working under him in different roles. Sometimes what happens, every time the manager cannot have that access to JD and then go through that, make a comparison between two documents. What they do, this fellow is ideal, give them the job. That guy has changed, new guy has come, give him this assignment. More often than not, an advertisement for a job role will define the role and responsibilities of the candidate. When the person undergoes interview, to that extent, the same thing is reinforced during the interview. When the fellow joins and start working, the roles and responsibilities may be different a little bit or totally. So there will be a total disconnect. This leads to ambiguity. The guy will be clueless. Array, this is not my core job here. I don't know why I've been called here. I'm not doing this work at all. It's possible, it has happened in several companies. And some people used to be very assertive and then very open and then tell him, I cannot do the job because this is what I have not been contracted for. This is a different work altogether. In long back, maybe 2001 or 2, in L&T, the management introduced something, an initiative called PC exercise. PC is not a personal computer, it is a position clarification exercise. It was implemented under the supervision of our American HR consultant by name William Mercer. Around 11 or 12 people underwent the initial training by Mercer people. I was one of them. And over a period of time, many people resigned, retired, transferred, and all those things. I was one of the last men standing who knew thoroughly about the PC exercise. That exercise calls for interviewing each job role on 7 parameters. 7 parameters. Unfortunately, post-retirement, I lost my laptop, stolen from the taxi, and I had a wealth of information that luckily I still have the hard copies. Even now I can conduct a program. But what happens? This has been made online by William Mercer. But I still have the ready reckoner and books and all those things. Since I was one of the very few guys who knew that, I used to be called at short notice, Mr. Sundaram, can you come to Bombay tomorrow? Can you travel to Calcutta? Can you travel to Delhi? In addition to my role, I was playing the role of the guy who assess a VP or a general manager on PC exercise. There, right from the chairman to the lowest level supervisor, on 7 parameters, a person's role is given clarity or clarity sought by the interviewer on 7 parameters. Maybe it is a revenue budget, manpower budget, number of people reporting, to whom he is what you call, who are his internal customers, external customers, and then what are his roles and responsibilities. When it comes to roles and responsibilities, when I do PMS also, we used to provide clarity on that. Many people mistake a chain of activities, individual activities as a responsibility. A responsibility is different, which is connected through various activities. Many people think I went to the bank, that is one activity. I met the dealing clerk, another activity. I wanted the balance sheet or the income expenditure, receivables and expenses statement, and then coming back office for different activities. But the responsibility is what we call receivable statement from banks. It's only one responsibility. So many people confuse. So our the PC exercise gave a lot of clarity for me. In interpreting and exposing the philosophy of role clarification and goal clarification. Every role should have a goal. That interpretation should be given clearly in JD. Otherwise, again, there will be overlaps and gaps in responsibility, escalation, confusion, conflicting priorities. All those things happen. One department's job, another department may be doing, maybe on the shop floor. The same thing happen when the processing happens from one department to another department. There will be a confusion of who will do what. So even I've done a lot of training for TVS, Hosur, more than 80 batches or something. When I did a training on leadership, again the same issue was there. Even in a company like TVS, who are more disciplined, who have got a lot of what you call systems, procedures, ISO, and what you call Suzuki's quality philosophy, everything was there. Still, the mindset with the people are there. In the sense, my bay, any work in my assembly area, I have done my job. But why the equipment is not moving to the next bay, I don't know. That is the response of even leaders. I don't know. They don't proactively go and find out what is happening, why there's the machinery is not working. Can be some go there and help them. So people work in a straight jacket, work within the framework. The framework is provided only to tell you what you are supposed to do. It doesn't mean you are not supposed to go to the other department, go and help them, because ultimately the customer is the sufferer. The company's turnover, profitability, everything will come down. People don't realize that. So beyond your JD, there should be role clarification and goal clarification, so that there is a lot of clarity in what person should do. Otherwise, it will lead to employee frustration and low morale. So if you want to sum up, I can say role ambiguity does not just slow down process, it creates systemic friction between departments, either duplicate or neglect a task. Both of them are not good for the company. The result is delays, unwanted effort, and weakened cross-functional trust. People will start working in silos like in any government organization. Very simple. Why the next table is not there, sir? He's on leave, he will give the birth certificate. Where is he? I don't know. That's what people will say.
Yeah, true.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. That gives us great clarity.
Welcome, sir.
Dear audience, I hope you're with us. Please type team if cross-functional confusion is common where you work. Please type team if cross-functional confusion is common where you work. Thank you. Thank you for sharing, everyone. Sir, moving on to the next question.
Yeah.
Many organizations have escalation protocols on paper, but employees hesitate to use them. What are the communication risks when escalations don't happen? And how can HR build a healthier and more transparent escalation culture?
It has a really several reasons behind that. Several reasons. One could be the leaders, the team leaders or the operational leaders in the shop floor or in the offices. They should have open communication and mutual trust with the workers or employees. If that doesn't happen, they say that like it starts from the school. I was in one college for doing an FDP, faculty development program, recently, and I was waiting to meet the HR lady, and I could hear in a class the teacher or the faculty and the student, they were arguing. That faculty leader is the teacher is telling, faculty member is telling, I am the teacher here. I am teaching you. You are supposed to listen. Don't talk back to me. I heard that. It's not old, just 6 months ago, just near my home. What we are telling. I know of school teachers, sit down, don't stand when I am teaching. That's what they do. The same culture, the British culture, the slave culture mentality, it has seeped into several old organizations. I am the boss, I am the manager, you listen to me. Here we are not opening the channels of communication. So what people do, Arey yaar, why we should bother yaar, let things go. So people take it very casually, even if there is going to be a major accident or something. Do you know Kalpana Chawla's that the craft, the spacecraft, when it entered the Earth's atmosphere, it was subjected to a very high degree of heat, very high degree because of the friction, the air.
Okay.
That kind of spacecraft, when it's being built, not exactly Kalpana Chawla spacecraft, but maybe something similar, it happened. They used to uh, attach ceramic tiles on the body of the spacecraft with very strong super glue. It cannot come off, it should not come off. But in building one such spacecraft, the tiles, ceramic tiles were falling very often. The workers wanted to escalate it to the supervisor. But there was some other issue which made them keep quiet, not escalating it to the supervisor. Consequently, a similar thing, a test flight, I don't know whether it is Kalpana's flight, I don't remember that, but that was subject to the total spacecraft got burnt just because escalation did not take place. This is something similar to what we talk about in performance management system about receiving and giving feedback. There should be open channels of communication and mutual trust between boss and the subordinate. Open communication. I know long back we had one general manager who was from the north by name Swadesh Kumar. He was the general manager. He will keep the door open, his cabin door open. His policy was any employee can walk inside anytime.
Super.
That kind of approach we should have. For all good things or bad things, where Kingfisher airline went down, maybe from the second day onwards, I traveled in Kingfisher very often. There, behind every seat, there will be a small sticker. It says, in case you have anything to communicate, please write to chairman@kingfisher.com. What does that mean? I used to quote this very often in feedback. That means anybody can approach anybody, not passing through the hierarchical, what you call layers, go directly to the boss. So that will definitely help people to open about anything that's good happening, like what they have in companies in 5 years, what you call or improvement plans, all those things. How management should encourage people have one single channel, not layers. One single channel, the bottom to the top. Anybody can tell anything about anything concerning the company. Maybe something unethical, unprofessional things happening. It can be by a general manager. It can be by a worker, manager, anybody. That open communication will avoid operational disruptions. I used to say that any problem in an office or an industry is like a cockroach. One cockroach coming into the kitchen, if we ignore, maybe we are all very ahimsavad or jiva karanya, we do not want to squash this thing or fumigate the kitchen. What will happen? In 1 week, it will multiply 1 into 10 into 100, it will multiply. Same thing, problems in the organization. Keep the problem, people away from the organization, focus on the problem, try to resolve it. If something happening again and again, create SOPs for that and encourage people to come back. Otherwise, it will lead to production delay, quality issues, compliance, legal procedure, safety hazard. Everything will happen. Even cultural erosion, because trust in leadership weakens and people start silently suffering. That becomes a norm. In this company, no use in your escalating. Bosses will keep quiet, they are not bothered. Why you are wasting your time? You do your two punch and one lunch and just walk out. That will become the norm, ultimately. This may take, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
And ultimately, the company's reputation will be at stake. That's the final point.
Correct. So, what is one immediate step HR can introduce to improve escalation discipline?
That's why they should have the absence is a clear lack of clear, consistent, aligned communication network. They should have one single channel from bottom to top.
Okay.
And it need not be the CEO should attend to each and every mail. Maybe his executive assistant or manager in his department. Like you are addressing something to the chief minister or the prime minister or something. It's not that those people spend their time in looking at every email. They have appointed people to bring today's email, subject wise, department wise, sort it out and give it a single sheet. These are the feedback or the escalations from the company. From the workers. Very simple.
Got it.
One channel, not multiple channel, not routing through proper channel. All those things should be avoided. Then you will see that even the senior most people, they will be in jitters.
Got it, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir. So,
Welcome.
audience, to you, if you have seen this escalate issues late because people hesitate to raise them, type escalate in the chat. I repeat, if you have seen issues escalate late because people hesitate to raise them, type escalate in the chat. Thank you for your responses. Sir, let's move on to the final question.
Yeah.
If we connect all these audit findings, unclear policies, confusing JDs, role ambiguity, and weak escalation discipline, what is the one deeper communication gap that links all four?
See, the main reason is that the organization should have a very strong team to handle the network, connecting with the people, and a monitoring mechanism, an ombudsman or somebody to sincerely attend to the problems, assuring people if somebody sends a mail, an immediate reply, not AI generated reply, a human reply. We have seen your mail, we have seen your issue, we will address the issue and get back to you. And the person who has raised the issue, you should go back and say, appreciate him, wish him, greet him, thank him, motivate him so that that guy comes back to you again and again. Some people may have a different composition, the mental composition, who is very, who feels very loyal to the company. He knows the goings on which are not palatable to him. So ultimately, the person may be tied down because of so many hierarchical issues. You should have a proper good communication without any punitive action. Some people will say, oh, you have returned to the management, come on, I will take care of it. I know in which bus route you are going. It should not go to that life-threatening kind of things. People should be assured of safety. People should be assured of all kind of support, so that the people, the good people, always support the management, so that the company's growth is assured, profitability is assured, and the employees' share of that share of commitment and involvement in the managerial growth is assured. That's my. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. That gives us a powerful perspective. Audience, please type root if you agree that's deeper communication costs. Please type root if you agree there is a deeper communication costs. That's wonderful. Thank you everyone for your active participation. Thank you, sir, for sharing such clear, practical, and insightful perspectives with us today. Your answers have added tremendous value to this discussion. Kindly wait, I'll come back to you for the Q&A session.
Sure, sir. Sure.
And now, audience, we are moving on to MCQ coaching segment. For this segment, I'll read out a scenario followed by 4 options, A, B, C, and D. Please type the option you think as the best answer in the chat. We will reveal the recommended answer after a few seconds. I'll also post the questions in the chat box. So first scenario is policy misinterpretation. The question is, HR has circulated a new leave policy, but employees are confused and misinterpreting it. What should HR check first? Option A, the font size. Option B, whether employees fully read the mail. Option C, whether the communication was clear, simple, and example based. Whether the policy document was attached correctly. I'll post the question. 1 minute. I've posted the question in the chat box. I'll read it again. HR has circulated a new leave policy, but employees are confused and misinterpreting it. What should HR check first? A, the font size. B, whether employees fully read the mail. C, whether the communication was clear, simple, and example based. D, whether the policy document was attached correctly. Great. The recommended answer is C, whether the communication was clear, simple, and example based. Congratulations to those who have answered correctly. Moving on to the second scenario. Give me a minute. Yes. I posted the question in the chat box. I'll read it here. A new employee says their actual tasks don't match what they understood from the job description. What should HR do first? Option A, ask the manager to rewrite the JD. Check whether the JD was communicated and explained clearly. Assign a mentor immediately. Conducting a meeting with all team members. Please type your answer A, B, C, or D. Thank you for your responses. The right answer is B. Check whether the JD was explained clearly during hiring. So thank you for your response. Moving on to the next scenario. Cross-functional Yes, the correct answer is C. Facilitate a role clarity conversation. Moving on to the next scenario. No escalation. A major issue remained unresolved for weeks because nobody escalated it. What should HR encourage first? Option A, publicly call out employees. Option B, make escalation steps visible and simple. Option C, add more hierarchy layers. Option D, ignore it until it becomes bigger. Well then, the answer is B, make escalation steps visible and simple. Thank you for your responses. Moving on to the last scenario. Root cause identification. Multiple issues keep repeating despite HR communication efforts. What should HR check first? Option A, whether employees have time to read emails. Option B, if managers are reinforcing the message. Option C, whether the core message is clear, concise, and consistent. Option D, if more posters should be printed. Great. The answer is C, whether the core message is clear, concise, and consistent. Thank you everyone for your energetic participation in MCQ segment. We'll now move into a quick Q&A session. I'll unmute. Okay. If you have a question, please use the raise hand option and we will unmute you. Alternately, you can also type your question in the chat. One. So while we wait for any questions, could you share one short practical takeaway for HR teams to work on immediately? Okay, there is a question, sir. What are all the challenges that you faced while training HR? Thank you, Barnika, for asking this question.
See, I happen to train around 20-25 HR people belonging to numerous motors. Actually, it is owned by one of the founders of Infosys by name Shibu Lal, and in Bangalore. He has got around 20-25 companies under his belt, and he has a pocket money of 400 crore. Such a rich person. But I have seen him coming to his workplace daily at 9 o'clock. 2-3 times he used to go there, and then his Mercedes will just park at 9 sharp. He will go into the his office at 9 a.m. because I did training on various aspects for the HR people for a period of 3-4 months on various topics, including how to negotiate for CTC and all those topics. And when we trained, when our topic was on employee engagement, one girl, HR girl, she told me, sir, if given an opportunity, I am going to quit the role. I asked him, why, ma'am? Why? What happened? Sir, I am in charge of employee engagement and I am called a Rangoli girl because my main job is to do that Rangoli before an employee engagement activity, maybe a birthday celebration or a work anniversary, whatever it is. Since it is one of my activities, people dub me as a what you call this Rangoli girl. I told him, what's your grievance? Another grievance. She told that hardly any employee attend such employee engagement activities. I told him that's very sad. Then what did you do? Nothing, sir. I asked him, have you ever asked your HOD or the vertical head to grace the occasion randomly without notice? No, I never thought of it. So do it once. Because all the initiatives comes from the top, they are the role models. If they come on time again and again and again, naturally all the junior level fellows will also come. Arey boss coming karke. You make it a habit. But the initiative should come from the top. You can plead, beg, you can do fall at the feet of the people, but people have their own mindset. But if you have to break the mindset, again, it can come from the top and then they become the role model for others to follow. Same applies to punctuality. I told them that. You people be on time. Don't give excuse, I'm traveling 50 kilometers. There is no excuse. I used to travel long distances, then still I will be in the office at 9 o'clock sharp. I might have reached the city at 12 midnight only. Nagpur, Mumbai, Bangalore, I would have taken throughout the night. I would not have slept properly also. But for 3 hours, I normally won't stay in a hotel, Nagpur to Bombay, because Nagpur Bombay flight would have been delayed 12 noon, 12 midnight. I have reached Mumbai, and then I take a early morning flight. I have reached home at 5 a.m. But still at 8 o'clock, I will be reaching time because people will not bother about when you came from your tour, when you are in the office. So all those things we should act as a role model. HR, they are very good in giving policies, writing policies, everything. But you see, they themselves come late. So everything starts from ourselves only. But many people think that HR is recruitment, HR is training. They define HR with respect to their role only. When it comes to HR, it is end to end. There are so many sub skills are there. People have to develop themselves. They have to have an open mind. Because I conduct regular HR programs, I used to tell them that don't limit yourself to what you are doing. Go beyond that. I have conducted HR audit training for the HR team of Qatar Petroleum in Doha. It's there in my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel has got 187 videos of all my training programs. Everywhere there will be a feedback at the end of the training. I don't believe in that written feedback where people copy from each other and do that. I don't believe it. 3 people out of 30 people who can articulate well. They say what you are learning and take away, good enough for. So HR people should have an open mind to learn, grab anything and learn anything, maybe competency mapping, performance management system, HR auditing, all those things are. So this is what I tell people, learn, no end. From a steno to a person, last year, I conducted team building training for 160 faculty members, are all PhDs, all doctorates. I handled them. I did a regular college was pre-university in Madurai. Afterwards, everything correspondence or evening college only. Maybe my BA political science through correspondence, diploma in HRM through evening college. I never attended a regular college after my PUC, but I handle faculty members. Why? I developed the skill, competency, everything. Yes, we can do if you have a mindset. Otherwise, we cannot grow. Be prepared to learn. Don't sit in the comfort zone. I give only one instance before closing this answer. I 2 years ago, I went to Birla Institute of Management in Bangalore. I was conducting some training program for the MBA students, HR students. I asked one question. How many of you in this crowd want to get into recruitment and training, recruitment, what you call role. Believe me, 28 of 33 students raised their hands. What does this mean? Recruitment is just like a broker's job, like a marriage broker. One side JD, another is a CV. That's all. Matchmaking. You don't require a MBA. Yeah? This can be handled by a 10th student also if he has got that kind of able to make a comparison. That's enough. Then people try to go through the path of least resistance. There are other challenges for HR that they should look at and then develop themselves. That's it.
Thank you, sir. Thanks.
Welcome.
Panika, hope your question is answered. So now one more question from Vishwa.
Yeah.
Vishwa is asking like about AI tools. In
Yeah.
what way it bring change in the corporate communication? In what way AI can bring a change in the corporate communication?
Thank you, Mr. Vishwa. In fact, I started sensitizing people on what is AI, how it can be useful for HR. I have a course on the course name, what do you call, presentation is available with me. That is, wherever there is a repetitive action, where there are things that a system can do it instead of a human intervention, you can use AI. Even ATS, application tracking system, giving a beautiful reply to a client or what do you call, or candidate. Because I conduct a lot of training program on how to attract talent, that is recruitment, and how to retain talent. That's also another aspect of the coin. That is normally what people do after before an interview. Okay, we have sent an email, that fellow will attend the interview. When he comes for sitting, okay, what do you call, take his name, number, send him to the interview panel, that's all. That is, you do it in a perfunctory job. But what you should do really, how to retain talent, they say it starts from the time you identify a candidate, your retention strategy starts. How? When a person has shown his interest in attending the interview, grab him, ask him questions. When are you coming? Are you new to the place? Do you know where we are there? Can I send you the Google map, our location? Are you familiar? And the interview maybe for 1 hour, or we may have to stay for 4-5 hours. Be prepared for that. Take care of him for lunch, tiffin, breakfast, whatever it is. Tea, appropriate. Treat him with a royalty. Treat him with a like a royal what you call hair, prince or somebody. It's not that go out of bounds, taking him in a palak or something like that. I don't mean that, but give him due respect as a human being. Many people think that the candidate is at our mercy. No. In fact, these days, we are at their mercy. Therefore, treat him properly from the time he attend the interview. Once the interview is over, he gone back, one single sentence, hope you have reached your hometown. What is going to cost us? Nothing. This can be AI generated. And also, when the fellow is accepted joining, when are you coming? Have you got an accommodation here? Should I arrange a PG accommodation for you? Any relatives are there? Go on pestering him, sending with messages. This can be AI generated. You don't have to personally send it. Wherever personal intervention is there, don't use AI. Like after the person joins, take him to the canteen, cafeteria, all those introduction by the department will happen. That is separate. You as the person who recruited him, barge in, maybe not by plan or something, it can be accidental also, but you can, it look like an accident also. You just go when the fellow is having lunch in the canteen, you go and sit with him. Maybe he may not have made friends with any new people or something, because still he is new to the factory or office. Sit with him. How are you? Have you settled down? Do you need any help or support? Have you got all the documents, your email ID, everything? If you have any problem, I am there. That ownership should be there till the guy on his own volition says that I'm perfectly fine. Every 15 days or every month, accidentally meet him and then ask his welfare. This is a retention strategy. Some you can always use AI and some you have to use human intervention. Nothing to beat human intervention when you put your hand on the shoulder. But somewhere where there's a repetitive action is there, use AI. In fact, I have a German client in Sriperumbudur. In fact, on Monday, I'm going there for a training program on business communication on Tuesday. Last time I told them, for business communication for people who are in different departments, how many of you are using AI? Nobody. How many of you are using ChatGPT? Nobody. I told them I am using at the age of 72. What prevents you from doing that? I showed them live with ChatGPT. I showed them. Now give me 4 keywords. Customer, bill pending, 2 lakh bill pending since 3 months. We need your payment urgently. That's all 4 sentences for a factory. That's what the 4 keywords I posted in ChatGPT. In a matter of 1 minute, 30 seconds, you got a beautifully written letter. We have got a liquidity issue, unimaginable a liquidity issue. We have to make a disburse our salaries. This is already overdue. Hope you'll realize we have to pay to the vendor also. Please make the payment. Beautiful letter. Even for us to think and draft, it may take 10 days, what you call 1 hour. It comes in a minute. So wherever you are stuck, you have got a lot of work, ask that ChatGPT to do the job. But when you have to go and meet somebody personally, don't ask ChatGPT to do that. So you should ask the discretion, because we are all in HR. HR means human resource, human relationships. So therefore, wherever personal intervention is there, we have to do.
Correct.
That human approach should always be.
Wonderfully
Thank you, sir.
explained. Wonderfully
Thank you.
explained. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Vishwa, for asking that question. And he has one more question for us. With escalation, without escalation, differentiate the two consequences.
Okay, without escalation, things may go out of control over a period of time. People will get into mediocrity and also a resentment about the management. If there are very serious issues, there can be accidents also. And a company's property, a company's assets can be diluted by vested interests. With escalation, the company is in the safe hands of the employees. Have that open channels of communication.
Great, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
Well, that's all for the interview today. Thank you, sir, for sharing your valuable time and deep insights.
Welcome, sir.
And thank you to everyone here for being a part of the session.
Thank you.
With that, now I move on to the final part. We have a few announcements here. We are excited to share that we are launching another version of the Confidence Community Talk Show exclusively for HR professionals, beginning January 2026. This new series will be called Confidence Community HR Series for the Young Leaders. We request you to kindly share this registration link with your HR connections across organizations. The link is shared in the chat box. The link has been shared already. Please, we request you to share it with your friends and family. So next is Language Lab announcement. Our Language Lab version 1 is running successfully. This is a brief view of Confidence Communique designed for real transformation through practice, feedback, speaking drills, confidence rewiring, workplace communication mastery. So that's all for today. Thank you, Archana, for this opportunity. A heartfelt thank you to Mr. N.K. Sundaram, sir, for sharing such insightful and practical HR audit-based communication learnings. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks for
Please
the
follow us on
opportunity.
LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook.
Yeah.
Join our WhatsApp community and visit our website for updates. The links are in the chat screen. Thank you once again. See you next Saturday.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
10 10 சொல்லி 11. சாதம் வைக்கணுமா? இல்ல எப்படி சாதம் ஓவன் ஏத்தி சாதம் இருந்ததா?
குத்த சாதம் இருந்தது அதுலயே துணி போட்டேன் கரண்டே கொடுத்து
ஆமா
டம்முன்னு சத்தம் போட்டு
அங்கேயே டிரான்ஸ்ஃபார்மர் ஏதோ